Hello, everybody. Welcome to an episode of On Location, which is usually with myself, Marco Ciappelli, and Sean Martin. We just fresh from our SA conference in San Francisco, and the summer is the season of On Location coverage. And I couldn't be more happy than actually today to talk about a big event in Europe about technology. It's called VIVA Tech. We have the managing director here with us, and I had the pleasure to talk to François Bitouzet last year. And I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. And it's funny. We were just having fun. It's an Italian and a French trying to have a podcast in English, and we'll do our best. But for sure, it will be entertaining, and it will be full of passion. How about that, François?
I fully agree, and I think it's not the language like French or Italian. The question is the language of tech, and I hope it will be a good discussion with the language of tech.
Absolutely, absolutely. And if there is something that makes me excited, it's talking about technology, and all the things that it's doing in society. I think last year we didn't talk about generative AI. It's probably the year of generative AI this year, as well as many, many other things. And as I mentioned, François, I would like for you to introduce yourself for people that didn't listen to you last year. They don't know who you are, and then we can dive in. But I just want to say that this is already, I believe, the 8th edition of VIVA Tech, and has become the event about technology and society and all that matters to everybody living technology this day in Europe. So I want to know what's about to happen in a few days.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. It's a lot of pressure, and that it's the 8th edition of VIVA Tech. So VIVA Tech or VIVA Technology, we are a tech, digital, and startup event. In 8 years, we have managed to become the biggest event in Europe, and true that now we are admissible in the tech and business global agenda. We do things, we try to make something special or at least useful. So we are not trying to do like the other events, because big events like the CS, they already exist. They do a great job. And so we wanted to bring something new on the tech and digital things. So basically we are focused on B2B approach. And what we try to do, we try to bring around the table all the stakeholders in innovation. So we have startups. So we have more than 3,000 startups. We have, of course, tech champions like Google, Meta, IBM, Microsoft, Amazon. What is very unique is also we have a lot of corporate companies, something like 300 global leaders in their own sectors. So, for instance, we have LVMH for luxury. We have Tesla for cars. We have Airbus for aerospace, etc., in 25 business sectors. And last but not least, we also have the public sectors. Just to give you an example, this year we will have 40 national pavilions. So it makes VIVA Tech a kind of world expo of tech and digital. And all these people, they met in Paris, coming from 120 countries. And we tried to make it like a mess, something very chaotic. And from this chaos, you bring and you can take business, a lot of business, inspiration with key speakers. Last year, we were so proud to have Elon Musk, and a lot of fun, because we consider that tech, it's about fun at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I love how you made a comparison with the world fairs of many years ago. That's where, when you had the new innovation coming, like the Edison presenting the electric bulb, or, very, very important things, and people will come from all over the places to do that. Now, it's easier to travel, but I feel like the excitement is still the same. It may be more chaotic. There is a lot more technology. And And I feel like it's where event like yours, Viva Technology, is where you feel the pulse of the economy, as you said, the innovation, and what is the government doing about it? Of course, with AI, we need guardrails. We all hear about this. So the fact that you put all together, I hope something very, very good comes out of that.
Yes, this is exactly what we try to do every year. And I think for us, it's very important to consider that tech and digital, it doesn't belong just to tech people. In France, 100 years ago, during World War I, we had a prime minister, and you say that war is too important to be just for soldiers. And I think at VIVA TECH, we have the same conviction, the fact that tech and digital, it's so important in our lives, in our business, jobs, democracies, and everything that we do as human beings on this planet. It's too important just for to be left to tech people. Of course, they are important. I mean, there's no issue. But let's bring also citizens, general public, business decision makers, policy makers, because it's very, very important. So this is also, and maybe it's the European way of thinking about technology. But I can tell you that this is what is very exciting at VIVA TECH. And I think also it gives a complementary approach of tech and digital, because very often you have the feeling that tech is a kind of dilemma. On the one hand, you have the US model, Silicon Valley. On the other hand, you have the Chinese model, very government and everything, and nothing in between. And at VIVA TECH, what we like the most is to bring all the models, the tech and digital models from all over the world. This year, Japan is country of the year. We have India. We have a lot of African countries, the Middle East, Asia. And it's great because there's so much multiplicity in the tech world that it gives people the possibility to make up their mind and to choose with the right vision of what is possible, what is not possible, what they want and what they don't want. And I think it's part of the pleasure that you can take from VIVA TECH.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's about the collaboration. There are no boundaries anymore, right? We live in a connected world. We live in the internet where there are no boundaries. We need to collaborate all together. And I love the fact that you do that.
But
I'm curious.
That if I may, I think you're right and you're wrong at the same time.
Okay, let's go there. What?
No, but I think it's, I'm joking, but it's very important. What you say is true. It's the fact that innovation, it's about connection. You know, the mythology of the guy alone in his room, creating, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't exist anymore. I'm not even sure that it never happened really that in the past. But the truth is that an idea can come from Taiwan, but you need to have a connection with people in the US to have a blog from AI. You need people for instance, in Spain for blockchain, etc. And so it's global, but and I think innovation is global now. But we are living a very special moment in the human history where the world, as we used to know it, is a little bit changing. We've got the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, tension between China and the US, and it's the same for tech. And you see that boundaries are back, frontiers, etc., etc. And I think what is interesting at VIVA TECH, it's a kind of safe place where you have all the nations, all the people, and try to create again this unique global planet of tech. And I can tell you that at this very moment, it's something important and not always as easy as it seems.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think you need to foster the individual country the way that they create education and they make thrive their innovation. But as you said, sometimes you need the convergence of different technology in order to make the creme de la creme, the la creme de la creme happen. So that's the beauty of it. Give me, I know already because I looked at the website, you have some incredible keynotes. Last year you had Elon Musk, and this year you have somebody that I understand used to play tennis, talking there. So give me a little bit of teaser for who is going to be leading the keynotes this year.
Yeah, so we've got something like 100 keynotes and sessions, fire chat, etc. I think we will we try to have the, as you said, crème de la crème for AI. So that's for sure. So for instance, we will have Yann Lequin, Joshua Bengio. So I mean, Turing prizes together. We will have also people from OpenAI, from Anthropic, Runway, also from NVIDIA. So we have I think key players in AI, and also we will have a lot also of CEOs, CMOs. We will have, for instance, Bernard Arnault, the CEO of LVMH. We will have a lot of tech and digital leaders from all over the world. For instance, Robin Reed, the CEO of Baidu, Miki Tanisam, the CEO of Rakuten, Eric Schmidt. I think there's no need to introduce him. And also a lot of people who are making the world of tech moving and changing. For instance, I like so much Meredith Whittaker from Signal, Linda Yaccarino from X Twitter. So you see a large spectrum of speakers. Also, we will have John Kerry, and I think he will tell us a lot of things about sustainability. Charles Michel, he's the president of the European Council, and people who have a vision on tech and digital. So we were talking about tennis. We are very proud because this year we will have Serena and Venus Williams on stage. So we are super excited. First, because they haven't been together on stage for a long time. So I think in for 4 years. And also, they are very important investors in tech and digital now. And so they will tell us about, of course, sport and tech, in investing in tech like a sport, like a fight sport, etc. I think it's gonna be something very something to remember. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember from last year you had President Macron, if I remember well, he was speaking, and I see again the president of the European Council. You had John Kerry. I see politicians, I see people from the government getting involved, because it's very important to be prepared for where technology is going to go, and don't be surprised eventually, hopefully not, as humans often do, that we found ourselves in a situation we were making fun before start recording about being in the Matrix, and we don't want to be there. So it's important to have these guardrails when we talk about many topics in technology. How do you choose technology is everywhere. Every company is a technology company nowadays. How do you choose the main themes for the event? Like, of course, AI, but I know you focus on many other things. Is there like a market research? How do you decide to highlight certain topics?
Yeah, for instance, this year we have AI and also sustainability, because we really want to link both questions, and we really want to have a concrete approach. We are not here to tell you what will happen in 20 years. As I was saying, like we will all be like Keanu Reeves in the Matrix, etc. We want to see things now for people to understand, and to understand the opportunities, but also the risk. For your questions, we have a team here of people who are focused on the content, and they spend their year traveling, going to other conferences, reading, meeting people. We have also the opportunity to have at VIVA TECH, as I said, startup, tech leaders, government, corporate sector, and we meet all of them. And to be honest, it's not a scientific method. It's something that comes from the air du temps, the context and everything. And I think it's very important when we think that something is interesting for people. It happens usually 10 months before the event. When we've got something, we start to discuss with a lot of people outside of VIVA TECH, friends and family, key partners, some journalists, etc. And so we try at the end of the year to have something concrete and solid. And to be honest with you, very often, because this is tech, I mean, tech is changing all the time, and this is what is expecting. We've got something in September, October, and in January we're like, oh my God, it doesn't work anymore. People don't care about this. There is something so big coming, and so we have to do it again from start. Part of the game. I mean, it's like a media, and it's also this is the heart of tech. The pulse is very important, and we are very happy to be the reflection of the rhythm of the rhythm of tech, definitely.
Yeah. And just to give an idea, I mean, I have all this conversation on my show, Redefining Society. It's all about technology and how it affects in society, but you have reading here, gaming and sports, of course, that's important. Creators economy, that's relatively new, but something that it's a big industry. I mean, you can't not talk about that. But then one very important, internet and democracy. So how did you guys decided that to have that?
I think for us it was quite obvious because here in Europe, in a few weeks, we will have a European election for the European Parliament. So it's something very important. And we know that at this moment, especially with AI, there are a lot of fears about what will happen to democracy, because we see the impact sometimes of digital and new tech solutions on democracy itself. You see that with the social media, with deepfake, etc., you can make people believe things that are wrong, and it can have an impact on the people they really want as a president or a prime minister, etc. And for us, it was very important not to avoid this kind of question, but it put them in the light, and to have best in class at a global scale, and to discuss, to find solutions. We will have a lot of startups with concrete solutions. For example, we have a Japanese startup. They are called Citadel AI, and their idea is to consider that we need to create kind of guardians of AI, meaning that if you are a company and if you want to implement a new AI tech product, they are here to tell you, here are the rules that you need to follow for your AI to be compliant with democracy, respect data, IPs, etc. And I think AI and tech and democracy, it can be very important, very powerful. However, at this moment, there are so many questions that we need to find answers. So it was for Europe, but also in the US, you have the presidential election. And we know that tech is key now in the way democracy is implemented. And I think also that tech has to be part of the discussion for the new president, for the new people that we will vote for, because it's so important. I mean, it's as important as the price of oil, I mean, everything. And very often not considered in the general debates, whereas it's key. And I think this is also why at VIVA TECH, it's a 4-day event. 3 days are dedicated to B2B attendees, and the last day it was general public. So you can come with your family, you can be a kid, you can be a senior, you are not a geek, you are not working in tech, but you can have access to Viva Tech, to everything. And I think it is what I was talking about democracy and tech. It's very important to bring people to tech. Otherwise, they are afraid of tech. They don't understand. Whereas tech can be such an empowerment. And so this is also part of our commitment to tech.
Yeah, I love that, because many of the conferences that I go to in cybersecurity or in tech, they're B2B. And then I have to be the one that translate it for the audience, right? The fact that they can come there is still very much a connection with the World Trade Fair, where people could go and experience and get excited, but also know, because knowledge is power, is how to interact and not have the fear of, they're powerful technology, but the scary part is when you think is, I don't know, the volcano, the god volcano that you don't understand how it was, and then you have fear of it, and you think it's something that is not. So I love the fact that people are coming there. Is there anything that you want to highlight that is different from last year? So, or maybe the year before, anything that it's new in this system of how the event runs?
I think that this year we will try to have a even more important focus on business side. For the startup, it's very difficult at this moment to find investors. Money is very difficult to find. And so at Viva Tech, we really want to be a business platform. We have the startups, they come with their innovation, amazing innovation. We have the corporate sectors, they have the money, they can be client. We have also the public sector, and they are very important also in the development, the economical development of the startup. And we really want the startup, when they leave Viva Tech, to say, okay, guys, we have made up to 25% of our annual leads, because it's part of the promise and the commitment of Viva Tech. And we will try to do that with very Viva Tech style ways. Just I give you an example. This is something I'm very. I hope it will be a success. We will privatize a street in Paris. It's called Rue Montorgueil. It's a very Parisian street, like Emily in Paris, if you want. There are bars everywhere, and so we have investors and we have corporate sector. They pay to have a bar, and if you are a startup, you come and they offer you a drink, a beer. And so we will have 3,000 founders, CEOs of startups working in the street, going from bar to bar, drinking beer, discussing business. I hope they won't be drunk too fast, but you see what I mean? It's about business, so the tech, and it's about Viva, it's about a celebration. So let's try to make business, because at the end of the day, this is what people need when you are in tech, and especially if you are a startup. But let's try to do it in a fun way, because it's part of the DNA of tech and digital.
Yeah, and I want to end this with this connection, like the community. On the website, you list that there is 2,100 exhibitors, there is the 4th stage with all the speakers, but then there is one title that says, Find Your Tribe. Yeah, and I really I kind of see how you're really trying to connect people at a human level in a very European way, right? It's not just about the money or just about the technology, but it's about connecting with the people and maybe decide, hey, let's build something together. Let's invest together, because again, we connect. We do this a lot in France and Spain, in Italy, and we're just like that. And I love the fact that you're bringing this to the forefront. So I hope that people will not be a little bit too drunk to then make the right decision, but they'll sure loosen up a little.
When the team, they told me, okay, we will do that in the street Montorgueil, and they told me it has to be on the first evening of Viva Tech, and I was there. Oh my God! What?
Are you sure it's a good idea?
Stupid me, and I said yes, of course. I said yes.
Yeah, sure.
But
why not?
what you say, I think it's very important because we are living in a world more and more focused on efficiency, zero risk. I mean, people don't want to take risk anymore, etc. So let's make a little space to surprise, chance, to luck. And I think this is the important things with event. An event, of course, it's about sessions, it's about pavilions, it's about features, etc. But at the end of the day, it's about people in the same place at the same moment, and things that never happen usually will happen. I give you one example. Last year, Bernard Arnault, so maybe the richest man on earth, the boss of LVMH, he was visiting VIVA Tech from startup to startup. And I remember the young founder from Korea, he jumped on him, so bodyguard, but at the end, they discussed together. And the day after, the guy of innovation from LVMH called the startup and said, we would like to discuss with you. I can tell you, it happens at VIVA Tech. I'm not telling you that doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. Mm-hmm. I tell you, it happens at VIVA Tech.
I love it. I love it. Well, François, I am so excited for you to get this going. I know everything is ready to go. They're just sitting there waiting for the door to open. So everything is going to be perfect. And I'm very happy that you found the time again to come back on the show on ITSP Magazine and give us an overview of what is going to happen there. We're a big fan of Viva Tech and all you do for technology and society. So again, thank you very much. Good luck. Viva Tech will take place again in Paris, if you haven't figured it out, May 22nd to the 25th. So about to happen. And thank you again for stopping by.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your kindness. And thank you for sharing this love for tech and digital. And so we will try to be at the level of expectations that you have.
All right. I'm sure. Sure. Take care, everybody. Stay tuned. There'll be more stories here on location with me and Sean when he's here with me, but I always have great guests. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, everybody.